And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Black and Blue Pod. I'm your host, as always, Matt McLaughlin, here for another interview. Before I get started, please like, comment, share, subscribe, all those good things. Help us out here over at the Black and Blue Pod. And I am joined by a very special guest here with me today. He's the former co-founder of SauceHockey, which is one of the best hockey apparel brands to date, along with Bench Clears. And check out my interview with the co-founder of Bench Clears, Joe Carson, in my last interview. Little plug there. But that doesn't take away from my very special guest. He is also the founder of EK Sports Management. He is also on the management of Matthew Mayfield, who is a very big country star. It's the one and only Eric Kleineck. Eric, thank you for coming on the show. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Of course, man. So first of all, what's the origin story? You came out of Arizona. How'd you get into hockey?
Yeah, I moved to Arizona from Iowa. I grew up in Iowa actually, and ended up going to Arizona State University, which brought me to Phoenix, and kind of got into hockey a little bit later in life. And when I was out here in Arizona, and played a couple of games with ASU's club team, and then also took a job at the Coyotes. So that kind of was a breakthrough into hockey, and worked at a hockey pro shop for a little while that I ended up owning down the road, and started a clothing company, and kind of been fully immersed in the hockey world ever since.
So I got to ask, I'm on the Northeast side of things. Do people in Arizona actually care about the Coyotes? Because they're getting evicted. They can't even find a building right now. What is the deal with the Coyotes in Arizona?
Yeah, so there's a strong fan base here. The location on the west side of town where they built the arena, the city was kind of, the development was growing out west, and now it's kind of more centrally located and growing in the north and the east side of town. So the location of the current arena is just a tough location for a lot of people to get to on game days with traffic and whatnot. But there's a huge fan base here. A few years ago, when they went to the Western Conference Finals, the building was packed and rocking with the playoff whiteout and all that. They're currently looking at some different options for the new arena, which would be more centrally located. But hockey's booming. We got a lot of young kids that are playing. There's a girls program there, Arizona Kachinas program that has started up. They just got tier 1 status, which is huge for them. And a lot of ex-NHL players college players that have retired here and are coaching. So the coaching is really good, but a lot of young players that are moving on to the junior college ranks, and then obviously Austin Matthews being kind of the pinnacle of everything at the NHL level for sure. So
of course, and before Austin Matthews, it was Shane Doan was the big flag bearer for the Coyotes. Did you ever have any run-ins with him when you were working for the Coyotes?
Yeah, Doner's a buddy of mine. He's just a world-class human being, and he means everything to hockey in Arizona. He's just unbelievable spokesperson, role model, leader, all that. Working for the Coyotes over the years, I've seen Shane. Everybody's gone. He's the last one leaving the rink, and he's signing autographs till 1 a.m. for fans outside the ramp. So he's got time for everybody. He's genuinely interested in what you're doing, and loves to have conversations with those around him. And not a better guy you'll find for sure.
And didn't his son, I didn't look this up, didn't his son just recently get drafted by the Coyotes too?
Yeah, he was a second round pick to the Coyotes, and he's in his freshman year at Arizona State here, playing D1 college hockey. So he's having a really good season, and we're expecting big things from Josh. So he's a great kid too.
So were you a fan of the Coyotes going back to the old retro jerseys, or were you not a fan of that? Like, what do you think about that change?
Yeah, I like the Kachina jerseys. Those are awesome. They kind of asked the fan base like what they thought. They brought it back as a third jersey originally.
Yeah.
And the fans loved it, so they decided to make it kind of the full-time thing. So it's been full-time the last year or two, I think. So.
And you're a guy that loves apparel, clearly loves talking hockey in general. What were some of the lessons that you learned in starting up SauceHockey and up until you left? Like, what were some of the most important lessons from an entrepreneurial standpoint that really have stuck with you and have helped you grow into other business ventures?
Yeah, kind of always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but didn't exactly know what at the time. Originally, kind of wanted to open a pizza joint, and
really
school, early college, and then as I got more into hockey, kind of knew that was like my main passion, and wanted to, try to make that a full-time gig for myself. I think most importantly, you got to be passionate about what you're doing, because there's lots of challenges and obstacles along the way, and that passion will keep you going for sure. Just surrounding yourself with good people and like-minded people that share the same visions is important. Being willing to work hard, trying to work efficiently and smart if you can, so you don't burn yourself to the ground in terms of your time and energy. But and then I think, early on, staying focused is important. Not getting off on tangents. You get pulled in a lot of directions early on when you're forming a brand, and kind of really zoning in on what your focus is, and try not to veer too far from that. It's also important.
Did you have a name for the pizza shop? I have to ask that.
I didn't at the time, no. And ironically, I just got one of those those home pizza ovens.
Oh yeah.
My wife and my mom chipped in and got me one for my birthday. So we set it up, and we've been making pizzas here at the house. It's pretty incredible.
That's awesome. So, are you like Cosmo Kramer? You're going to set up your shop where everyone makes the pizza for themselves.
I know. Yeah, that's what we should do for sure. So it's been fun though.
Do you think pineapple belongs on pizza? This is a highly debated topic I've had with friends.
I actually had pineapple last night on pizza. I like it.
So I've never tried it. What is it? I don't understand. Can you describe to me the appeal of pineapple on pizza?
I think anything tastes good on pizza, like depending on what your preferences are, you know what I mean? But I like it with, ham or Canadian bacon or something. I think it's a good combo. So
that's not a bad combo at all. And so now you branched off of SauceHockey now. You're getting into management. What has that transition been like, going from focusing on apparel to now you're dealing with more the business side of things?
Yeah. So for a while there, I was managing a musician, Matthew Mayfield. And so that was cool, because I've always been passionate about music, play a little guitar, and brother plays the drums. And so growing up, was kind of surrounded by music, with my brother making loud noises in the house and stuff, and then picked up a guitar later. But that was a good experience. Matthew's a great guy and very talented, but it was good learning lessons to work with him in terms of kind of building a team, touring musicians. It's a tough business, but I learned a lot, just like from the logistics of touring, working with a booking agent, running, kind of connecting the dots from my SauceHockey days with, merch and setting up a merch booth at the show and how to maximize revenue that way. Online stores, all that sort of stuff. And then distribution of music and whatnot. So that was fun. Did that for almost 2 years. And then, kind of looking ahead now with EK Sports Entertainment, the focus is really just kind of my BHL Cup adult hockey tournament. Lately we had a couple other events prior to COVID, like some youth hockey schools and different stuff. But just same thing. We set up a merch booth at the hockey schools and try to create cool apparel, try to create experiences for the consumer, and that they'll remember for a lifetime.
Did you have any favorite cities that you were like circling the dates? Like, oh, I can't wait to roll into town here.
Yeah. The cool thing is it's being a business owner, you can kind of sort of make your schedule and pick the dates and cities, the locations, that make sense. And so, Arizona's very hot in the summertime. It's great for 9 months of the year. And then in the wintertime or summertime, it's excruciating heat. Like for most people,
I can only imagine.
Yeah. And, 110 to 120. So that's a good time to travel if you live here. So, my kind of vision for it was to, you could be here in the wintertime, and then in the summertime, you could travel to some good cities in Chicago, Vancouver, wherever, and do some hockey schools and different things. So that was fun. Yeah. Very good time.
Have you been keeping track with the NHL lately, or are you just kind of lost in all the ventures and just trying to catch it when you can?
Yeah, no, I actually am a full-time gig now as a pro rep for Bauer Hockey, doing sports marketing. And
I should know these things. I should have known.
Yeah, no, that's all right. That's all right. So I'm very in tune with the NHL, just because, that's kind of where I'm living these days in terms of day-to-day stuff. So yeah, it's been a fun season. We'll see where it goes, but some good teams this year.
Some very good teams. Unfortunately, my Flyers are not one of them. Ugh.
Yeah, they're kind of in a rebuild mode. They got to make some decisions. What about Giroux? he's maybe
Yeah, Giroux.
thinking about.
The GM said that they're not going to deal Giroux unless he wants to leave, which I don't think Claude Giroux would ever say he wants to leave Philly.
Yeah,
But
it's kind of smart by them. They put the ball in his court, so if he does choose, it doesn't look like the team, wanted.
Yeah, but like we love Claude too much. Like if
Yeah,
Claude leaves Philly without a Stanley Cup, it's so sad. It's just
yeah,
so sad.
that's tough. Claude's a good dude.
I've never met him. I hope to meet him one day, God willing.
Yeah,
But I mean, the Coyotes, like I'm sure you're kind of relate to this for years, similar to what I'm experiencing now. Like the Coyotes have not had good years to say the least. And now to see like a Flyers team that's like just struggling to compete, I'm like, God damn it. Like it's just hard to watch. It's hard to
yeah,
watch sometimes.
it's tough. Yeah, the salary cap era, it's like there's not many dynasties anymore. It's hard because once you win, Tampa's kind of the closest we've seen, and there's going to come a point where they're going to have to juggle some salary cap. But it's really important to draft and develop well, I think, because you're going to lose guys that perform really well. They're going to get raises and sign with new teams. So you got to kind of plug those holes with players you develop in the minors and bring them up when you're ready. But yeah, you got to have a good core. So it's interesting.
Well, and it's kind of fun now with social media, and the pandemic just threw everything off the last couple of years. Have you been keeping up with this Brad Marchand beef with the Hurricanes?
Yeah, I saw a little bit. It's pretty funny.
It's awesome. It's really getting me to start liking Marchand. As a Flyers fan, I hate him and Patrice Bergeron. They're like and public enemies number 1 and number 2. But you're comparing players to Priuses and Lambos, and I'm like, oh, you know what? Funny guy. I got to respect the chirps. Have you had any like memorable, I guess, while you're playing just on your own and just through your job, have you had any like memorable experiences with hockey players where you're like, damn, that was a good chirp?
There's a bunch of them. Yeah, some of the older guys are pretty funny. In Phoenix, we had Ed Jovanovski on the team for a while, and I think they talked about it on Chicklets too, but being around him was pretty funny because he'd have all the one-liners to all the rookies. Like, guy would come up with a $20 or $100 bill and ask Joe for change, and he'd say, "Buddy, that is my change." Or he'd look at he'd show a rookie like his pair of shoes and be like, "Hey, do you know what this red bottom or red line means on the back?" And the rookie'd be like, "I don't know." And he'd be like, "Yeah, it's fucking expensive. That's what it means." So he was always giving it to the young guys. Yeah, I don't know. The guys are pretty creative out there. And I think the game's just a little different now. He's gotten so young and so fast. And so some of the characters we had back in the day in the NHL are obviously retired now, but I think the game's in a good place for sure.
And even the Chicklets crew in general. Spin Chicklets has become one of my favorite podcasts just in general, regardless of sports or whatever. Especially now that Paul Bissonnette's on TNT now. Did you see that clip the other night? It was he was interviewing Steve Yzerman.
Yeah. This is a character, man.
Well, so weren't you let me rephrase this question. Have you talked to Biz since? Because there was a relationship briefly there with SauceHockey. Have you had any communication with him since then?
Yeah. Biz and I are good buddies. He's just so busy right now, but we were chatting the other day. We made some custom hockey sticks for one of Biz's buddies, little 9-year-old brothers. So we were working on that and whatnot. But yeah, Biz is crushing it. I actually found in my notes on my phone, it was from back in 2013. I was at the time we were looking at starting a podcast for Sauce, and I was just like wanted to kind of have like a female personality in Biz, and just we could prank some NHLers or do whatever on there, just kind of make it fun. We never got it off the ground, but I had the notes in my phone as an idea, and talked to Biz. And I was just basically told him, I was like, "Hey, listen, like you're hilarious. Like people just need to hear you talk." And it's awesome to see. I'm so pumped for him that it's come full circle, and he's had so much success with Chicklets and the TNT gig. He's absolutely crushing it on. So he's an unbelievable guy and deserves all of it.
Absolutely. And so what are you doing now with Bauer? Are you overseeing like the manufacturing of sticks? Like what's your role with Bauer?
Yeah, so I'm in the sports marketing department. So we do sales and service to the NHL teams. So I cover the Southwest. So I got Phoenix, Vegas, and the California teams. Just working with the players, making sure their gear and specs are all dialed in how they want them to perform their best. And then there's a little piece of sports marketing component with some guys that we have, signed athletes. So some content stuff and different things with those guys. So it's been started a couple of years ago, and it's been a really good fit for me. Really enjoying it.
That's awesome. And have you been able to make it out to a few Vegas games? Like, what's that atmosphere like? It looks electric, but unfortunately, I'm too broke to make it out there to Vegas.
Yeah, you have to get out there sometime. We'll maybe meet out there for a game and a beer or something. But
oh my God, please, yes.
I've probably been fortunate to maybe been to, I don't know, 20 or so NHL buildings and see games, and there's nothing like Vegas. Probably the closest would maybe be Nashville, just because of the layout of Broadway and the bars and all this stuff there. But in that Nashville arena is so loud, but there's just nothing like Vegas. The hospitality industry there, they just put on a world-class show. And the cool thing is you're like, it's loud in the rink. It's an amazing fan experience, but then you walk out and like outside of the rink, you're right on the strip, and there's, drum lines playing outside and restaurants and bars. And there's just an energy around the arena and in the arena that is kind of unmatched in the NHL for sure. They've done a really incredible job there.
And they had that breakout inaugural year with Flower and Net, and then they go on a run to the Stanley Cup. It was like all of a sudden Vegas was the darling team that everyone was rooting for. I mean, so who have been some of your like favorite players to at least get their feedback from on their sticks and on their equipment and stuff like that?
Yeah, all the guys are pretty good. Some guys are less picky than others, but everybody's at that level. We're just trying to help support them to be the best version they can be as a player. And we'd love, for all of them to do well and be successful on the ice. So certain guys use older technology, and some guys a lot of the young guys love the new stuff, and it's really kind of hit or miss per player, just to what they're into, so.
And last thing before we get to our last segment, is there one player that just like, he's so picky that he's just going through a list of critiques where you're just like, holy fuck, I didn't know we were that bad?
Yeah. And some of it's like, I try to just do what we can to make the guys happy and perform their best. But like, sometimes it's just a little tweak, but if it helps them mentally, then I'm all about it. So we just try to do what we can to help them out and make sure that, along with their equipment managers, that they're able to kind of go out and perform versus thinking about their gear, So
yeah, exactly. Last thing you want as a player thinking about like a stick that may break on them or something like that. So last segment here, it's like my little rapid fire segment I call off the dome. And I'll just go through like 5 rapid fire questions and you'll give me your thoughts. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, cool. Would you rather take a slap shot from Zdeno Chara or Erik Karlsson?
Oof, probably Karlsson. I think that he still shoots hard, but I'd probably wear one from Karlsson first.
Of course. Those are pick your poison situations. Silky or mitts, Austin Matthews or Connor McDavid?
Ooh, that's a toss up for me. I think Matthews is a little more deceptive with his hands and shot. McDavid's just so fast and plays the game and thinks at such a high level that he's a speed guy and skill guy. So I don't know. Toss up for me on that one.
Favorite topping on pizza? It doesn't have to be pineapple, but your favorite topping in general.
I don't like it as a standalone, but I like green olives. So like green olives and pepperoni or something. So that's a little bit.
Yeah, you're getting a little exotic on me, getting a little high class here.
Yeah.
Who do you think will win a cup next? Alex Ovechkin or Sidney Crosby?
This year it's looking like Sidney Crosby. I think Pittsburgh's on a tear right now, so they got a really good team.
Unfortunately, it pains my soul to see Pittsburgh doing well as a Philly fan.
As a Philly fan.
Are you a Yellowstone fan? Before I ask this next question,
I watched the first episode and haven't watched the rest. Purely timing thing. I've heard amazing things though. So,
who do you think out of the 3 siblings between Beth, Jamie, and who's the last one? Why am I blanking on it? I just finished the entire show. Beth, Jamie, and I don't. Never mind. Scratch that question completely.
Yeah, we'll skip that one,
yeah, skip that one completely. That really bothers me. Sorry. Anyway, favorite book that you've read recently?
Favorite book I've read. Been trying to read a lot more. I I've got a 7-year-old daughter, so life gets busy and work and stuff,
yeah.
but trying to read more. What did I just finish up? Atomic Habits is a good book.
I've been recommended that book a lot.
Yeah, that one was good. Just kind of good way to take some good pointers in there, and then it's a good way to kind of take some inventory on your day to day and figuring out where you can maybe be a little more, effective. I think some other ones. Just reading some books on real estate and different things like that. But yeah, we'll go James, the Atomic Habits one.
Most underrated part of being from Arizona.
Most underrated part. We've got like so much to do here. The weather's incredible. Tons of good restaurants. People are moving here by the droves. Cost of living has skyrocketed in the last 2 years here, but for the longest time, it was one of the cheapest cities to live in, lifestyle wise, but also very, I guess I would consider one of the most desirable places to live, just with the weather and, the quality of life. So,
the Cardinals were rolling for a while until
they fell off the map a little bit towards the end of the season.
Hey, but always next year. As an Eagles fan, take it from me. Always next year. So that was Eric Kleineck. Eric, thank you for coming on the show. Really appreciate it, man. And feel free to pop on the show. Maybe we'll set something up later on down the line.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.